ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सच्चिदानंद रूपाय कृष्णाय क्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदांत वेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वलोकहिते रतं वेदाब्ज भास्करं वन्दे शमादिनिलयं मुनिं सहस्रमूर्ते पुरुषोत्तमस्य सहस्रनेत्राननपादबाहोः सहस्रनाम्नां स्तवनं प्रशस्तं निरुच्यते जन्मजरादिशान्त्यै। So namaste once again everyone.
Namaste Guruji.
Namaste. So we were seeing this sloka Kamadeva Kamapalak Kamikanta Kritagamah Anirdeshya Vapur Vishnu Vironanto Dhananjaya. So the last nama that we saw in the last class was Anirdeshya Vapuhu. Vapuhu, as I said, is a body, the form. So Anirdeshya Vapuhu means the one whose form cannot be described. It cannot be determined categorically. Because we have been seeing this, what is the nature of Bhagavan? Satyam Jnanam Anantam. So being free from any attribute, Bhagavan in his original natural form cannot be described. That's why Upanishad after Upanishad, they struggle to describe what this Brahman is all about. And because it is something which cannot be described, that is why we come down one step level to that, say, on that same Brahman, we superimpose all attributes, a form, and then call that those forms Rama, Krishna, or Devi, and all that, Shiva, Parvati, all those names, Vishnu, all these are all superimpositions on the Brahman, which does not have, which cannot be described. When we superimpose this form, then some description is possible. So that is how we have to understand the original form of Bhagavan, of Ishvara, the essence of Ishvara, essence of all of us, the essence of the entire Jagat for that matter, is Brahman, and the form of that Brahman is indescribable, cannot be categorically described. So that is Anirdeshya Vapuhu. Then the next is Vishnu. Vishnu, we have seen this Nama earlier also. Vishnu means the all-pervasive. Vish Vyapta is the verb from which this Vishnu is derived. But now, what is Adi Shankara giving meaning? Rodasi Vyapya Kantihi Abhyadika Stita Asya iti Vishnu. And for this meaning, he is quoting from the scriptures. Vyapya me rodasi partha kantirabhyadika stita kramana dvapya ham partha Vishnuritya abhisanyitah. This is a quotation from Mahabharata. So, aham partha Vishnuhu iti abhisanyitah. I am called Vishnu. Krishna tells Arjuna in Mahabharata. And why he is Vishnu? Because I am all pervasive. Vishnu manifests in every sphere. So here, as in this sloka, Krishna himself explains, pervading the heaven and earth, my splendor goes still further. Also because I pervade, traverse and the entire universe, I am known as Vishnu. So this is the Vishnu means all pervasive, which is what Brahman is all pervasive. So Vishnu is no different than Brahman. There are only two different words used to describe the same adhishtanam of this entire prapancha. So that is Vishnu, all pervasive. Viraha, the one who moves very fast. See, beauty of Shankara. Viraha, normally we will think that a valorous one, right? Valiant person. Viraha. That's earlier also we saw this. But here, Viraha is the one who moves very fast. Gatyadi matvat Viraha. And how that is arrived? There is a dhatu or a verb in Sanskrit language called vi. And it has got meaning gati, prajana, kanti, asana, khadaneshu. Iti dhatu pathat. So, as I said, actually this name Viraha is repeated 3 times in Vishnu Sahasranamam. And Adi Shankara each time takes it with different meanings. So as I just read out, the root V has various meanings like motion, gati, prajana, creation, kanti, shining, asana, throwing, asdhatu, khadana, eating. So the Lord is the one who has the power of all these actions, and therefore he is Viraha. Puja Swamiji adds, Veti Gacchati Bhakta Hridayam. He goes to the heart of the devotees. And also, in his fight with the Asuras, Veti Kshipati Astran. Ship dhatu also means to throw, like as dhatu. So throws arrows towards the Asuras. And hence also he is Viraha. That's why, if you know Sanskrit, all this becomes much more enjoyable. How Adi Shankara, uses the potential of the Sanskrit language also to bring in various meanings in order to avoid repetition of the same meaning again and again and again. Even though the meaning may be same, the words describing that meaning are different. That is one possibility. Another possibility, the words are same, but they are derived with different meanings based upon the Sanskrit grammar rules and also the language. Viraha. Then Anantaha. Anantaha means the one who does not have any end, limitless. Vyapitvat, nityatvat, sarvatmatvat, deshatah, kalatah, vastutah cha, aparichinnah anantah. Vishnu Purana, one sloka, one verse, Adi Shankara cites, Gandharvapsarasa siddha hai, kinnaro ragana varana hai, kinnaro ragana hai, nantam gunanam gacchanti, tena nantoyam abhyaya. So this is from Vishnu Purana, he quotes. So Bhagavan, Ishvara is Ananta because he has no anta, no limitation. Because the word anta literally means end. And what does an end signify? It signifies limitation, a boundary. So, being Sarvavyapi, as we just now saw Vishnu, pervading all over the place, entire universe he pervades. Because of that, he has no space-wise limitation. And being Nitya, eternal, he has no time-wise limitation also. And being Sarvatma, the inner essence of every object in this universe, both animate and inanimate objects, he has no object-wise limitation also. Because every object is Ishvara. Time and space is also Ishvara. So there is nothing to limit him. And that's why Taittiriya Upanishad says, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahman, Ishvara, is of the nature of Satyam, existence, pure existence. Jnanam, pure consciousness, and Anantam, limitlessness. And further, as Parameshwara, no one can find the anta of his countless attributes. It is not only that he is limitless in terms of space, time, and object. Attribute-wise also, he is Ananta. Why? Because when we say everything in this universe is Ishvara, and every object, whether it is living or non-living, has got a specific attribute, maybe more than one in some cases. Is it possible for us to actually enumerate all the attributes of all the beings, all the jivas and the non-jivas in this entire prapancha? It is not possible. Limitless it is. And that's what the Vishnu Purana says. Even the Gandharvas, the Apsaras, the Siddhas, the Kinnaras, the Uragas, the Charanas cannot know the extent of Bhagavan's gunas. When we see Bhagavad Gita, we will see this. Bhagavan himself says,
I
think request whoever has unmuted to please mute. Not already
sorry,
done.
Guruji. Sorry,
Okay.
Guruji, I'm done.
Okay. Thank you. So Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, my attributes, my gunas are countless. But he enumerates a few of them. His vibhutis are countless. So this is how, when we understand Bhagavan, he is Ananta, limitless. Then Dhananjaya. Dhanam means wealth. Dhananjaya means the conqueror of wealth. Yad Digvijaye Prabhutam Dhanam Ajayat Tena Dhananjaya. Pandavanam Dhananjaya Arjuna iti Bhagavat Vachanat. Arjuna is called Dhananjaya because he won a lot of wealth for Rajasuya Yaga of Yudhishthira. And even earlier also, he has amassed a lot of wealth by all his, conquests and, the battles that he had fought. And while explaining, as I was just mentioning, the vibhutis of Bhagavan Krishna says in the Gita, Pandavanam Dhananjaya. So Arjuna among the Pandavas is Dhananjaya. And what does it mean? Bhagavan is telling that whatever glory that you are attributing to Arjuna is really my glory alone. In fact, any glory that we actually perceive in any person, be he a sports person, be a musician, be an artist, any glory that we perceive, it's all Bhagavan's glory only. It is only that Bhagavan has chosen a few individuals because of various reasons of their own karmas in order to manifest his glory. Once we understand, even if I have got some special skills, special talent, once I understand this talent actually doesn't belong to me, it is a blessing of Bhagavan to me. The only speciality is Bhagavan has chosen me to exhibit this talent to the world. If I have that attitude, I will be thanking Bhagavan for choosing me, and I will also not let this talent of mine go and boost my ego. This is what happens to many people. What they say, headstrong they become. They think that they solve because of their their abilities or their work or their effort that they have gained all these things. If they actually, and of course, we have seen very talented people and all, they understand this secret. That's why they are able to go to higher and higher heights in their field. Bhakti completely overcomes or overwhelms them. They are totally devoted. And when that happens, when Bhagavan sees that these people are really acknowledging what they are really are, he will actually bless them more, pour more grace on them. So this is one way of understanding Dhananjaya. The name can be just literally also we can see this name, not necessarily as Arjuna and all that. Bhagavan is Dhananjaya because he is the one to whom all wealth belongs. And he is the one because of whose grace one wins different forms of wealth, children, marriage, etc. So all these wealth, even we're not talking about talent, even physical wealth, literally, all wealth anyone possesses are because of Bhagavan's grace only. And because of his grace only, anyone gets all these things. Therefore, we can also invoke Bhagavan as Dhananjaya so that we can gain all forms of wealth from him. So this is Dhananjaya, the last nama of this sloka. Now go to the next sloka. Brahmanyo Brahma Krit Brahma 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 Vivardhanaha Brahma Vid Brahmano Brahmi Brahmagyo Brahmana Priyaha. Very nice sloka. All Brahma, 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 different forms are used in this sloka. So this has got again 10 namas. Brahmanyaha, Brahmakrit, Brahma, Brahma Vivardhanaha, Brahmavit, Brahmanaha, Brahmi, Brahmagnaha, Brahmana Priyaha. Brahmanyaha, the one to be known. Tapo Vedascha Viprascha Jnanancha Brahma Sangitam Tebhyo Hitatvat Brahmanyaha. So as I said, in all the namas in this shloka are connected to the word Brahma. And this Brahmanyaha, we have seen this in the introductory shlokas also. If you all recall, Brahmanyam Sarvadharmanyam Lokanam Kirtivardhanam Lokanatam Mahadbhutam Sarvabhuta Bhavodbhavam. So this Brahmanya we have already seen. And in that shloka also, many meanings of the nama Brahmanyam was brought out. Here Adi Shankara says, the word Brahmanya means that which is hita, good to Brahma. And the word Brahma has itself many meanings, which Adi Shankara gives. Tapas. Veda is also called Brahma, that is Shruti. Vipra, the very learned person, is called Brahma. Knowledge is called Brahma. Jnanam is called Brahma. Or a Brahmana, learned Brahmana is also called Brahma. So many meanings are there for the word Brahma. So Brahmanyam. So the creator Brahmaji is called Brahma. Only thing is Brahma, it will be. Yeah? Because we should not get confused between Brahman and Brahma. So that's why we normally, what we do, Brahma is the creator. Brahman is the Adhishtanam of this entire Jagat. So, in order to differentiate and not to confuse, we use normally the creator Brahma as Brahmaji, so that we are clear that we are referring to Brahmaji and not to Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. But as I said, all the 4 Vedas are also called Brahma. The one who studies and teaches the Veda, the Brahmana, is also Brahman. Brahma, not Brahman. The very subject matter that is to be known through Veda is what? Brahma only, Brahman actually. In this case, it is Brahman. Subject matter which is to be known through the Vedas. So not only is he in the form of all these things, but he also blesses Brahmaji at the time of creation, blesses the Vedas by validating it and protecting it from loss, blesses the Brahmanas, the Vipras who study the Vedas, and blesses the very knowledge by being the subject matter. and therefore he is Brahmanya. Now, those people who worship Lord Muruga, Lord Muruga has got a name, Subramanya. Sushtu Brahmanya. Subramanya means what? The one who is to be known very well. Sushtu Brahmanya. So Lord Muruga is actually an embodiment of a philosophy of Sanatana Dharma. And whenever we are actually looking at the Purana stories and all that, we miss what Lord Muruga is. He is embodiment of philosophy in this Kali Yuga. Whenever we worship Lord Muruga, we must bring to our mind all this entire Vishnu Sahasranama, because he is Subramanya. Here Vishnu is called Brahmanya and he is Subramanya. So that way we can actually see Lord Muruga not just as the one Shura Samharam and Valli Devani marriage and all that. Go deeper and understand what Lord Muruga is. So Brahmanya. Then Brahmakrit. Brahma, as we have seen, one meaning is the Vedas. So Brahmakrit means the author of the Vedas, the one who has created the Vedas. Tapa adinam kartritvat Brahmakrit. Very simple, nothing much to explain here. Ishvara is Brahmakrit, the author of the Vedas. He is also Brahmakrit, the creator of Brahmaji. He created Brahmaji and delegated the work of creation of this entire universe, and also gave the Vedas to him so that he can propound the Vedas. He can actually spread the Vedas in, amongst the people in the universe, throughout the universe, the knowledge which is contained in the Vedas. So Brahmakrit. Then Brahma. Again we are coming. Brahma is the creator. Brahmaji. Brahmatmana sarvam srijati iti Brahma. So again the same meaning going. He alone is in the form of Brahmaji, the creator, and he creates everything. Then Brahma, the truth of everything. This is the meaning Brahman. That's why it's Brahma. Actually, Brahma is the correct word, but pratyaya is added in order to differentiate from Brahma. So, Brihatvat Brahmanatvat cha Satyadhi Lakshanam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma iti Shrutehe. Pratyasta mitabhedam yat Satta Matrama Gocharam Vachasamatma Samvedam Tagyanam Brahma Sangitam iti Vishnu Purane. So again for this word Brahma, Adi Shankara quotes from one verse from Vishnu Purana. So Brihatvat, that which is big, Brih Dhatu means big, and also grows into something big, is Brahman. Because Brahman being the all-pervading substratum of this entire universe is so big that we cannot actually visualize how big Brahman is. In limitless. How can you visualize something which is limitless? We cannot. We can only understand. That is why Upanishad is all about understanding and not experiencing. Brahman is one can only understand what is Brahman. One cannot experience Brahman directly. Brahman, of course, can be experienced indirectly through all the objects in this world. So it is Brahman alone that as though expands into this manifest world. And how big is this Brahman? Taittiriya Upanishad says, Satyam Yanam Anantam Brahma. Brahman is of the nature of existence, knowledge, and limitlessness. So wherever we see existence, that is Brahman. Wherever we see knowledge, that is Brahman. And as I said, it's limitless. And limitlessness is what? Limitlessness is nothing but Ananda. Because even in our own experience, whenever we feel happy, we can reflect upon this truth. Our unhappiness always stems from a feeling of limitedness. We have desires, and as long as we are unable to fulfill those desires, we feel very limited. But suppose one desire is fulfilled, what is our experience? Our own feeling of limitedness with reference to that desire goes away. So with reference to that desire which has been fulfilled, we experience limitlessness. And that limitlessness, it manifests itself as what? Expresses itself as Ananda, happiness. So if we understand this secret, that happy, if you want to be happy, you have to understand that you are limitless. That is the entire essence of the Vedanta. We take ourselves as limited entities because we identify ourselves with the body, mind, sense complex. We do not know the truth of our, or the reality of our original true nature. So that is why Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is nothing but Sat Chit Ananda. Sat is Satyam, Chit is Jnanam, consciousness, and Anantam is Ananda. That's how we have to understand this Brahman. And the Vishnu Purana says that is known as Brahman, which is knowledge, free from all differences. What are the differences? Triputi, knower, known, and knowledge. Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata, Bhedaha, Nasti, which is pure existence, beyond the reach of words, and finally understood as oneself, one's real self. That is Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. This is the understanding, final understanding one needs to arrive at through all these processes. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, all these processes. We have to reach that state. Then we become a Jnani. So that is Brahma. Then Brahma Vivardhanaha, the one who makes the Veda and such others grow. Tapa adinam vivardhanat Brahma Vivardhanaha. Again, it's very simple. He is Brahma Vivardhana because his grace makes the knowledge of Veda grow. More people, when they are when Bhagavan showers his grace on them, they get that inclination to learn the Vedas. More people learn Vedas, Vedas grow. Similarly, he also makes tapas and also Brahmanas grow. So Brahma Vivardhanaha. Here the word Brahma, we can take all the meanings that we took in the first nama, which is what? Brahmanyaha, right? So all those meanings which are there, we saw that Brahmanyaha, the tapas, Veda, Brahmana, Jnanam. It is Bhagavan's grace because of which all these things grows. That's why he is Brahma Vivardhanaha. Then Brahmavit, the one who knows the Veda. Vedam, Vedartam cha yatavat veti iti Brahmavit. You speak. So not only does he know Brahma, that is the Vedas, and their meaning, but he alone is in the form of Brahmavid, those who know the Vedas. Because Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati says the Upanishad. Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of Brahman is Brahman itself. Mundaka Upanishad says. So the one who knows himself as Brahman is what? He is Brahman alone. He becomes Brahman. You cannot know Brahman without being Brahman, because Brahman is what? Brahman is you. So this is how, if we understand from a Vedantic point of view all these namas, eventually we will land at Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. There is no difference. The Advaita, basis of Advaita philosophy, no difference between Jiva and Ishvara. Whatever differences that you experience are only perceived differences, illusory differences. In essence, there is no difference between Jiva and Ishvara. So even to say Jiva and Ishvara is wrong, because there is no difference. So there is only Ishvara, you can say. Oh, that's why we avoid all the controversy. We say there is Brahman alone. I am Brahman, Ishvara is Brahman. So we are all Brahman. Everything, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Everything in this universe is Brahma alone. If you imbibe this philosophy, assimilate this knowledge, then everything will follow. Sarvatma Bhava will follow. Compassion will follow. Understanding will follow. Everything will follow. So, Brahmavit is Parameshwara, or you can say Parameshwara is in the form of Brahmavit. Then Brahmanaha, the one in the form of the Brahmana. Brahmanatmana samastanam vedanam pravachanam kurvan vedasyayamiti brahmanaha. So whenever we say he's a Brahmana, he's a Brahmin and all that, what are we, what meaning we want to convey? Today, whenever we are referring to somebody as a Brahmin or a Brahmana, just because that person is born in the family whose parents were also called Brahmanas similarly, we call them Brahmanas. That is the worst thing that we do, total misunderstanding from a Vedic point of view. From the Vedic point of view, A Brahmana is one who has studied the Vedas and teaches the Vedas. He only can be called a Brahmana. In fact, all of us, we can't call ourselves Brahmana just because we are having a sacred thread. Just because we are born in a family who call themselves Brahmanas. It's a total identity theft that we are all doing. Because the word Brahmana, it is taken from the Vedic scriptures only, and there it is very clearly defined who is a Brahmana, who is a Kshatriya, who is a Vaishya. It's very clearly defined. So Brahmana is one who has studied the Vedas and teaches the Vedas. Adhyayanam and Adhyapanam. Only that person can be called a Brahmana. In fact, those who have seen, there was a TV serial called of Cho Ramaswamy, Enge Brahmanan. In fact, I used to think, first of all, he should have taken Yar Brahmanan. That show who is a Brahmin, that he should have shown to people. From the pure definition point of view, none today, at least not those who are engaged in other professions, who have not studied the Vedas, who are not teaching the Vedas, they can't call themselves Brahmins. If you are in the army, call yourself Kshatriya. If you are doing business, or if you are working for somebody else's business, call yourself Vaishyas or even Shudras. Because Shudras are, if you are doing business of your own, you can call yourself Vaishyas. But if you are helping somebody else to do his business, then you are actually a Shudra. This understanding, this could be sort of a mind-blowing kind of a thing when I say this, but we have to be honest to ourselves. When we are studying the scriptures, we have to be very honest to ourselves. What am I? I have been a Shudra all my life. Yeah, I have been serving other people. I have never learned the Vedas. I have never taught the Vedas. Nor have I been active in protecting my people, protecting my society. Even if I had done that, I could have called myself a Kshatriya. Because army people don't work for any business or for money or anything. Their whole life, they are actually pledging for the sake of protecting the country, protecting the society. They can call themselves Kshatriyas, but certainly not Brahmanas, even if they are born in a Brahmin family. Okay. Anyway, I have stirred away from the subject. So, Brahmana is the one who has studied the Vedas and teaches the Vedas. And he also plays a great role in handing down the Vedas given out by the Lord to the future generations by teaching. And most importantly, and this is again another feature of a Brahmana, by living a life centered on the Vedas. So a Brahmana should not only should have studied the Vedas and he teaches the Vedas, but he should abide by the Vedas teachings in his own conduct. That is how he can become a role model for the society. So his life should be centered on the teaching of the Vedas. And the real Brahmana is one who has understood that. Understood what? All that is here is Brahman alone, and I am that Brahman. He is the real Brahman. The I, the Ahankara, he understands is Mithya. It is apparent. The I, Ahankara, does not exist separate from Ishvara, and Parameshwara alone is that Brahmana, and that Brahmana I am. When you get this complete total knowledge, you can call yourself a Brahmana or you can call yourself a Jnani, Mahatma. All these names you can call yourself. So this is a very profound understanding we must have who is a Brahmana. So Brahmana. Then Brahmi. As I told earlier also, Brahmi is the possessor of Brahma, is Brahmi. Brahma Sangita hai, Tachesha Bhuta hai, Atreti Brahmi. All that is indicated by the word Brahma, such as Vedas, tapas, knowledge, etc., belong to him only, to Bhagavan, and hence he is Brahmi. That's all is there to explain. Brahmanya, the knower of Brahma. Brahma Vedan Swatma Bhutan Janati iti Brahmagya. Bhagavan is Brahmagya. He knows Brahma, the entire Vedas. Entire Vedas means we are talking about the entire Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda, both, which is not separate from him. At the beginning of creation itself, he knew all the Vedas. And at the time of Pralaya, all Vedas resolve unto him only. Because we have to understand the subtle difference between these two namas, Brahmavit and Brahmagya. So Brahmavit means what? Who knows Brahman? Or you can, if you want to extend the meaning, you can call a person who has studied some good amount of Vedas as Brahmavit, where you take the meaning of the word Brahma as Veda. Vedavit, like that, Brahmavit you can say. Or more from an Upanishad point of view, the one who knows himself as Brahman is Brahmavit. But Brahmagya means here he not only knows all the Vedas but also their meanings. So that is the subtle difference between Brahmavit and Brahmagya. We must understand. Okay. Then Brahmana Priyaha, the one who loves those committed to the Vedas. Brahmananam Priyaha, Brahmana Priyaha. Brahmanaha Priya Asyeti Va. So whoever loves Bhagavan, to whomsoever Bhagavan is dear, that person is also committed to the Vedas, which have come from Bhagavan. So such people, they will have an inclination to study the Vedas, teach the Vedas. They are Brahmanas, learning and teaching the Vedas and living a Vedic life committed to Dharma. They hold Veda and Dharma dear to them because both these are nothing but Bhagavan alone. They understand that. Thus, Brahmanas play a great part in keeping the Vedic tradition alive, the Vedas alive, and therefore what? They are dear to the Lord, who is the original, who is a Brahmakrit, who is the creator of the Vedas. So thus Bhagavan is Brahmana Priya, being dear to the Brahmanas and also having them dear to him. In the Mahabharata, it is said that Devaki begot Sri Krishna from Vasudeva for the protection of the earthly Brahman, that is the Brahmana. And Adi Shankara quotes this verse, the following verse, in his introductory Bhashya of the Gita, and says that If the Brahmana is protected, the Veda will be protected, automatically becomes protected. And extending this, what is Puja Swamiji used to say, if you have to protect the Dharma, you have to protect the Dharmi. The people who follow Dharma have to be protected. If you do that, the Dharma also gets automatically protected. The same concept here Adi Shankara brings. If you protect a Brahmana, the Brahma, that is Veda, becomes protected. Yam Devam Devaki Devi Vasudevada Jijanat Bhaumasya Brahmano Guptyai Deepta Magni Nivaranihi Brahmanatwasya Rakshane Rakshita Syat Vaidiko Dharma. So, what is most important is whatever said and done. Today we do have some people who officiate, who are in the rituals that we perform at home or in the temples and all that. We call them Brahmanas. One can argue, because of course they have studied the Vedas. That is first qualification is there. They would have gone to some Patashala and studied the Vedas. 12 years, 15 years they would have spent. They teach the Vedas in the sense that they teach us to perform the rituals. That is a teaching itself, where we don't know anything about Vedas. So we require them, they are the teachers. Now the question may arise, are they qualified to be called Brahmanas? Because do they live the life, Vedic life? Many of them do, I personally know. But many others do not lead a Vedic life. So does that mean that they are not Brahmanas, those who don't lead a Vedic life, and they don't need to be protected? The answer is very simple. Since they have learned Vedas, since they are teaching the Vedas, they are involved in a dharmic pursuit. Even in their personal life, if they are not following the Vedic injunctions in terms of the Yama, Niyama and all other injunctions, we must give them the benefit of doubt and try to protect them, try to support them by whatever means that we have, instead of cursing them, blaming them for what they don't do. What we should see is, what is it that they do? We should take a positive attitude and help them rather, in whatever possible way. Because they are the best Brahmanas that we can find in today's society. So that is why by protecting them, we can protect the Vedas and also Vedic Dharma, Sanatana Dharma. So next sloka we will go. Mahakramo Mahakarma Mahateja Mahoragah Mahakratur Mahayajva Mahayagno Mahahavihi. Like the previous sloka was all Brahma was the common word. Here Maha is the common word. Maha means the great. Mahakramaha Mahakarma Mahateja Mahoragah Mahakratuhu Mahayajva Mahayagnya Mahahavihi. Oh, only 8 namas are there. Because everything is Maha, so I think number of namas are less. So Mahakramaha, the one with a wide step span. You know the step span, we take each step. Some people have small steps, some people have big steps. But here Bhagavan is the one with a wide step span. Mahantah kramaha pada vikshepaha asya iti mahakramaha. And Adi Shankara quotes a mantra from Shukla Yajurveda, Shanno Vishnu Rukramaha. It's a Shanti mantra. It comes in the Shanti mantra. So when a huge person walks, his step will definitely is going to cover a bigger span than of a ordinary or a short person, right? But when Lord Vishnu, who is all pervasive, walks, what is the span of his step? Because there is no place which is not covered by his step. He is all pervasive. Therefore, he is Mahakrama, the one with the huge step span, you can say. He is everything. He is not located in one place. Nothing is away from Ishvara. And that is what is said in this Taittiriya Upanishad. Shanno Vishnuhu Urukramaha. Describe him as Urukrama. The word krama means step, uru means wide. Then Mahakarma, the one of great action. What is the greatest action that anybody can do? Adi Shankara says, Mahat Jagat Utpatyadi Karma Syeti Mahakarma. Bhagavan is Mahakarma because his action of creation, sustenance, and resolution of the entire universe are Mahat, great. Because the accomplishment of any action is centered on the doer, is the subject, isn't it? Every individual is self-conscious and has got a doership. But what happens? This sense of doership gives us the guilt of omissions and also commissions. And the sense of enjoyership gives us only hurt. One of the sources of hurt may even be God. Because we feel that even though we pray so much, our prayers are not answered. So we feel hurt. We blame Bhagavan. Therefore, the individual who takes himself to be a karta and bhokta, a doer and enjoyer, has all kinds of hurt and guilt. But Bhagavan is free from this hurt and guilt because he has neither a sense of doership nor enjoyership. Hence, all his actions are Mahat, free from any hurt or guilt. Mahateja hai, the one of great effulgence and valor. Yadiyena tejasa tejasvino bhaskaradaya tatteja mahadasyeti mahateja hai. Yena suryastapati tejaseddaha. Taittiriya Brahmana. Iti shrutehe. Then Bhagavad Gita also is quoted by Shankaracharya. Yada dityagatam tejo jagat bhasayate khilam yachandramasi yachagnav tattejo vidhi mamakam. Iti Bhagavad Vachanat. Then Kraurya Shauryadibihi Dharmaihi Mahadbihi Samanankrita iti va Mahateja. Different meanings he is giving. Bhagavan is Mahateja, the one of great effulgence. It is by his light alone that the sun, other luminaries have come to possess light. Tejas or brilliance can be in terms of knowledge, in terms of light, or it can be even in terms of energy. And all this is true for Parameshwara because he is the light of all lights, the source of all light. And we are also able to recognize the source of light like sun, moon, stars, and all other, stars which are there, other luminary bodies, because of the consciousness that blesses the mind and through it the eyes. It is from our point of view. So this Atma, consciousness, is not separate from Ishvara. He alone is in the form of sun, moon, stars, fire, and so on, warms, energizes, lights up the whole Jagat, and hence he is Mahateja. Or Parameshwara can be taken Mahat Tejas. Mahat Tejas means expressing as Kraurya, sternness towards those who take to Adharma, and Shaurya, an ability to overcome them, defeat them. All the Purana stories you can recall for this. So he is Mahateja. I will stop here. It's time now. I'll say the prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Hari Om Guruji, Dhanyavada.
Dhanyavada.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Thank you, Hari Om. Thank you.
Dhanyavada, Guruji.
Dhanyavada. Thank you. Yes, one by one.
Thank you, Guruji. Just I have the question regarding who is the Brahmin. So, in relation to that, the different groups or the 4 groups, are they being treated differently under the Vedas? One. Number 2, if it is not your choice to be born in a particular group, so how does anybody get to know Vedas? Because by the time he realizes that he has to learn Vedas, it's actually the responsibility of the parent. So you are not in conformity even if you want to do it. And third, of course, it's a very layman, very ignorant I am asking. In Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 2 or 3, I think Lord Krishna says that somebody who is in one group shall not perform the duties of any other assigned group. Correct me for clarification.
Yes, Swadharma. Right. So the answer to your question is that if you are actually looking at all these things from
Guruji, can you repeat that question? I couldn't hear that.
Which question? There are a lot of questions.
No, this now Arun Kumar's nothing.
Kumar,
I couldn't hear.
Okay, so Arun Kumarji, please repeat for his sake. I'll give you the answer.
Guruji, question number 1 is there any difference in the treatment of the 4 groups being in the Sanatana Dharma? Are they treated as different levels? Number 2, does anybody have a choice as to the learning of the Vedas? Because the choice of birth is not it's not a choice, and by the time it depends on the parent, and by the time you realize that you want to do it, you may as well be out of the loop. So what is it? Third is Lord Krishna has told that you shall not do other than what you are endowed with in that particular group. You are not supposed to do any other task, whatever it may be. So I just wanted to clarify.
Guruji,
okay.
If you permit me, just I will add one thing.
Yeah.
Dronacharya, in the same context, although he was a Brahmin, he was performing the duties of Kshatriya.
Yes.
Does it mean he has turned into Kshatriya or he remains a Brahmin? In the same question what Mr. Arun Kumar has asked.
Yes. So I will touch upon that also. Okay. See, first of all, what we have to understand is that there are two situations. One is what is said in the Vedas, and another is what today is obtaining in the society that we are living in. Correct? So from that perspective of what we are experiencing in the society, we have got a lot of confusions about these things. The first question was about the treatment of the four groups, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Now, the most important thing that we have to understand, and which has become totally, I would say, converted, is so far as Vedas are concerned, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra is a horizontal level. What we have done, we have converted into a vertical one. That is the first mistake we have done. So we must first understand that Brahmana, Kshatriya, Shudra, Vaishya are all equally treated so far as Vedas are concerned. There is no hierarchy in that. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashaha. He says Chaturvarnyam, this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these are four varnas. I have created them based on what? Guna and karma. He does not say I have created them on the basis of birth. So anybody born to any set of parents, depending upon his own samskaras, depending upon the profession that he takes up, becomes either a Brahmana or Kshatriya or Shudra or Vaishya. It has nothing to do with birth. Unfortunately, in today's society, it is determined only by birth, not by guna, not by karma. This is the first biggest thing that has happened in terms of what was the situation, what is said in the Vedas, and what we are actually experiencing. So we have to understand that this is horizontal, not vertical. It's not hierarchical. So does not mean that Brahmana is something very superior and the Shudra is inferior. Shudras are those who serve others, the three varnas, right? I would actually be very careful not to use the word caste, because varna is not equivalent to caste. Britishers or whoever has actually translated it has actually put that in our minds, and we are just blindly following that. It is not at all caste. Varna is varna, a category, a classification, that's all. No different, I mean, it's not nobody is superior, nobody is inferior. And Shudras are the one who do not have the guna or who do not follow the profession of Brahmana. They don't learn the Vedas. Whoever it is, not whether you are born to any family, forget born in a family of Brahmins. Because we are today calling ourselves Brahmins for one reason we must understand. Because maybe 5 generations, 6 generations ago, our forefathers, they were actually engaged in this profession of learning the Vedas, teaching the Vedas. Right?
Absolutely.
And they were also leading a life, Vedic life. But over a period of time, that practices, their children or somebody did not follow all those things. And the whole thing got lost. But just because we are born in that particular lineage of those, Brahmanas, we call ourselves Brahmanas. We are still retaining a little bit of the rituals and all and Vedic lifestyle, little bit as compared to others. We are, some dharmic lifestyle we are maintaining. That is the only thing under the present circumstances. If you compare, gives us a right to call ourselves Brahmins. Other than this, if you go to the Vedic definition, there is no way we can call ourselves Brahmins. Now you come to the hierarchy part of it. Hierarchy part of it, the Shudras, if they are inferior, which Vedas do not consider, their importance we can actually realize from our own domestic, conditions. We have got domestic help. Ladies will actually understand this better. Some, maid servant comes to your house, maybe, part-time and then does all the cleaning work and things like that. Then let her just take 3 days leave. What will be your condition?
Yeah.
Who is dependent on whom now? Who is superior? So very practically, if you think about it, you will call her a Shudra, but without that Shudra, your house will come to a standstill. It will be stinking because you have lost the capability to clean your house, maintain your house. You are totally dependent. So on whom you are dependent is always superior to you. So even from a Laukika current point of view, we can easily understand the importance of each of these people. A policeman or your security guard in your society, he is a Kshatriya. He wakes up whole night and he is actually protecting you. Even though in the Vedic parlance, a Kshatriya is one who does it selflessly. He is not looking forward for any reward or anything for that. He is not looking for any salary or anything for that. He does it selflessly because he feels it is his duty to protect. And he develops the ability to protect her. But that same Kshatriya, you can actually see a Kshatriya in your society watchman rather. He is protecting you from all, outsiders and all that. So if we start looking at understanding what the original Vedas is, we can still find out, identify certain category of people. And because there should be no hierarchy, it makes it important. Just because you are a Brahmin, you cannot ill-treat those people. They are as important to you as anybody else. That is where you get that maturity of thinking, treating everybody alike in the same way. Okay, that is treatment. Now, how can you, sorry.
Purusha Suktam, I think, helps.
I wanted to
very
quote
well.
that, but I thought I will only one point I will be describing. So Purusha Suktam is there, Brahmano Mukhamasid Bahura Janya Krita Uru Tadasya Yadvaisha Padhyagum Shudro Ajayata. It says that the Kshatriya Shudras are born from the feet of Bhagavan. Now, because of that, we also have got another misconception of total misunderstanding. Our head is superior, our legs are inferior. Isn't it? Can you say that your leg is inferior to your hands or your thigh or your head? Just to ask a legless person who does not have leg or lost his legs, what his condition? So that is, and whenever we are referring to, we are making our offerings to Bhagavan, where do we make the offerings? To the leg only, lotus feet, right? That is the most important place. And it is with the legs only Bhagavan showed his Rupa, his Swarupa in Vamana Avatara. So legs are not, or Shudras are not somebody to be sort of say, oh, he is a low caste person and all. It's all this in order to divide our society, in order to rule over us. Last 1,000 years is what we are suffering today. But we have got an opportunity, if we understand, to redeem our thinking, to redeem all those things, even though we may not be having an opportunity in our generation or in the next 2-3 generation to actually go back to the old times. But unless we actually understand and keep on promoting this, we can certainly be hopeful a time will come when we will totally redeem our past glory. So that is so far as the treatment is concerned. And from that follows, as I told you, this Veda, learning the Vedas was compulsory for Brahmana, Kshatriya and Shudra and Vaishyas. Performance of all Vedic rituals, most of them like Sandhya Vandanam, Nitya Karmas, was compulsory for these three groups. The fourth group of Shudra were people born to anybody, but they do not have inclination to learn all these things. But they are their part of the society. So they were given the job to serve the other three, which was also very important. A Brahmana who is teaching the Vedas, who is officiating in some ceremony like yajna and all that, cannot himself do all he cannot go and collect the wood from the forest. He cannot bring, this neigh and all, everything. If he is doing himself, then he will not get time to do the ritual. He requires help. And those helpers are the Shudras. They will just go and bring all these things and help the Brahmana do it. Similarly, the Shudras, from an army point of view, if you look at it, the people who are what they call batman, they help the army officer to get ready for a battle. Right? So they are Shudras, but without their help, if the army officer's battle is there and the call is given, you start putting all the uniform and things like that and all, but so many things have to be put. Where will be he will miss his flight or whatever it is. So the batman is given not only to do that and also do the other service to the army person. So what we have to understand is the Shudras are not to be degraded or looked down upon. A very important part of the society which was recognized and given due importance in the Vedic literature. So this is so far as how can we develop? We have to take small steps. First understand, which you are all doing now, what is all this is about, right? Because maybe 1 year ago or 2 years ago, you wanted to know what these things are, but you have no idea. There's nobody to explain all these things to us. Same case with me also. Maybe it was not 2 years, maybe 10 years ago. For me also same. Now we are learning. So whenever we are learning, whatever little contribution we can do to keep this Vedic lifestyle, Vedic dharma alive, that contribution we can continue to do. We need not blame our parents, because then they will blame their parents and they will blame their parents, and eventually we will come and blame Britishers and the Mughals. That is what will come to. Let us not play the blame game. Let us look at positive. What is it that I can do? Now that I understand this thing, let me not get into this trap of casteism and this, that and all. Let me understand. Let me, in my own behavior, treat everybody alike. And whatever possible, like you are actually today learning at least Vedas, not in the traditional way, but at least some essence of the Vedas. We are all learning little bit, right? So that is what we can continue to do. Then so-called as the Swadharma is concerned, that is what Krishna is saying. Today what has happened is because the Swadharma concept is lost, everybody does everybody's job. Isn't it? And that is why the society is actually sinking. It is disintegrating. There is no harmony in the society. Everybody is competing for everybody else's job. And the only motto today has become money. Dharma is nowhere. There is only one goal. Money, dharma is there. For that, everybody. So when that comes as dharma, Swadharma is lost sight of. Which according to Bhagavad Gita, if you do that, this will what will happen. Krishna says, don't do it. But if you do that, what will happen is not said in the Bhagavad Gita, but we are experiencing it today. Similarly, when we, in the Gita also, in the first chapter, we saw Varna Sankara. intermixed. Where Arjuna says, if everybody is killed, women will be, taken to wrong ways and things like that and all. We are continuity of Bhagavad Gita times. Kali Yuga, what we are now experiencing is nothing but a continuation of what happened towards the end of Treta Yuga. And all that we are experiencing in today's society has already been hinted by Bhagavan Krishna or in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Mahabharata. So there is nothing much we can do about it right now in terms of Swadharma, because it is all gone. The whole thing, has to be completely revamped, the whole society, which I personally feel will not happen in Kali Yuga. Only when Kali Yuga is gone, when again we get Satyuga, the whole thing will be revamped and put again. That's my personal opinion. So Swadharma, we can understand what is Swadharma, we can do that. Then Dronacharya example was given by somebody. Dronacharya example is a great example because that is where he lost. He totally became adharmic. Becoming adharmic is fighting for the side of adharma. And in fact, Bhima, in this battle with Dronacharya, he asked a question to him. You are a Brahmana, you are a teacher. You have taught us. What makes you do this adharmic activity? Dronacharya had no answer. Because even though he was a Brahmana, even though he has taught all these people, there was one thing which he could not overcome, the emotion of vengeance. Dronacharya joined the Pandavas only to wreak vengeance against whom? Jayadratha. Because Jayadratha was fighting on Pandava's side. Because Dronacharya was still living in the past. Oh, he had done this to me, I will use this opportunity to take vengeance on it. So again, because of that, he went away from the Swadharma and it became adharmic. And that is why he also got killed in the battle. I mean, he got punished for that. Okay. So these are the questions that I have taken enough time to explain this.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you, Hariyom. Yes, Hariji, what is your question?
Thank you very much, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Hariyom. Thank you.
Hariyom.
I have one question.
Regarding this Shudra concept, this pandemic taught us a great lesson. Because of pandemic, all these house help people, they were not allowed to come inside.
Correct.
And the type of chaos that we have experienced at home, just because the maid was not there.
Correct.
And it was a big lesson that at least every one of us in our society learned, that their job is as important as anybody else's job.
Correct.
Also, we have a temple in our complex. And in that temple, Pujari and all is there, but there are two the workers who come in the past or more than 15 years, both the husband and wife, they used to come and clean right from morning till in the evening. If they don't come, due to, God forbid, if they due to some reason they are unable to attend, there will be a chaos. There will be a chaos. So it is equally important. To some extent, that their job is more important than the Pujari's job. The Pujari can start only when they come and
when they do and do it. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. That's why I said, who is higher in hierarchy, you cannot determine rather. So we should not get into that at all. Everybody is treated equally. Everybody is equal. Yeah. Everybody is as important as I am. As a school bus driver,
Yeah.
is as
If he-
important to the child
True.
to go to school, right?
True,
I
true,
mean, you
true,
cannot,
true, true.
yeah.
Very, very
So
true. Yeah.
if it doesn't come one day, the child will miss the school.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, if we start thinking and looking at these things, all our prejudices, biases, they will all settle down. Okay,
Just
thank
one
you.
small question.
Guruji, I
Yes.
have one more question.
Oh,
Yeah,
See,
let him finish.
you said that you understand first the Brahman because you cannot experience.
Yeah.
But is it not the reverse?
What?
Because understanding Brahman with my limited intellect, Brahman as it is infinite, and my intellect is finite. So how can I understand infinite with a finite equipment?
By understanding that you are not your intellect, that you are actually Brahman.
No, to understand that, I must have an intellect. Anything understanding
Correct,
can be
because
done.
you say I must have an intellect, that you are referring to your ego I. You are
Yeah.
associating your physical body, mind, sense complex with that intellect.
Yeah,
So it is limited.
yeah.
What is your understanding should be, I am not this body, mind, sense complex.
Yeah.
That understanding will take place in that intellect, but that intellect's understanding is I am limitless.
Okay.
That's all. So you cannot become limitless physically,
Okay.
because you are there in the body, mind, sense complex. You cannot become
Okay.
limitless physically, but only by understanding that I am limitless. That's why Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. The one who
Okay.
understands himself as Brahman, he becomes the Brahman himself. That is why
Okay.
it said. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, Krishnji.
sorry. I think I've taken time. Just 2 minutes.
No,
I
it is no problem. I'm here to clear doubts. No problem.
And the word, the Nama Ananta, I will give Ananta Session, Ananta Padmanabha,
Ananta Sayanam, Ananta Padmanabhan. Yeah.
which is on the session. So Vishnu reclining on the session. So I was understanding that Ananta is session. The
No. Ananta Seshan, Ananta Padmanabhan, Ananta refers to the limitlessness. Seshan refers to so the limitless is actually lying down on the serpent, on the limited. So very various ways, just Ananta Seshan Nama itself, you can actually talk for 1 hour on that. How to actually understand that, because the Ananta Seshan is Vishnu lying down on the serpent. Serpent represents limited world, and Vishnu lying on it represents the consciousness which pervades this entire world. So it's just a depiction of this entire prapancha. And also that Vishnu is actually relaxing in that. Right? You and me, if we go and lie near a serpent also, will we be relaxing? We won't be. Right? The moment we see a serpent, we will try to run away from it. So that also shows that once you understand yourself as consciousness, yourself as Brahman, you have no fear. The fear is gone away from you. You are totally relaxed. And totally relaxed situation is what? It is Ananda. Isn't it? When we experience Ananda, happiness, we are totally relaxed. There is no agitation in our mind at that time. So that is, as I said, if you just take Ananta Seshan itself, we can talk about it, so many interpretations. It's a symbolism from which we can draw a lot of meanings. Similarly, Ananta Padmanabhan, Ananta represents the limitlessness. Padmanabhan is what? The one who has got a lotus. Again, Vishnu only rather. Nabhi, the one who has got a Padma lotus in the Nabhi is Padmanabhan. Again, Vishnu. Again, referring back to the same posture. Because if you have seen those visual photos, there is a Anantasesha, Bhagavan is lying down, there is a lotus from his nabhi comes out, and there is a Brahmaji sitting on that, and then Lakshmi ji is actually pressing his feet. This is the photo we have seen of Anantasesha. So if you take each and every one of them, the creation, whole creation is coming from that Vishnu only. That is that, because Brahmaji is the creator, right? And he is so the creator also is coming out. We saw that just now also, that the Brahmakrit is the creator of Brahmaji also, that, right? So that is one we can say. And then when I was explaining that some other nama, like I think Srinidhi or Sri Vibhana and all, Lakshmi always is with with Bhagavan. So with just one visualization of Anantasesha, you can actually relate it to so many namas in Vishnu Sahasranama itself in different contexts. So Ananta in all these names stands for limitlessness.
Okay. Nice. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hari Om.
Very, very nicely.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hari Om. So I'll close the session.